So in this video, we're going to finish with the questions related to factorization. So in the last video, I believe we did 7a and c. So let's, I promised I would do e as well. So let's just do part e. So we have 2x squared plus 6x plus 3. And this is 0. So now, like I said, if you have 2, we don't want it. We don't want a coefficient on the x squared term. So we just factor it out. We have x squared plus 3x plus 3 divided by 2. And you can check, you can multiply 2 back in, and you'll see that we will get our original expression. So now you have 2, and I have the solution key on my laptop actually, so let me just open it up to the required page. All right, so now x, because we have x squared isolated, we write it as x. We copy the sign from our x term, and then we do x3 divided by 2 squared. So x squared plus 3x, and then 3 divided by 2 squared. Remember, that is 9 over 4. And we want to know 9 over 4, so we need to know what number do we subtract or add so that we get 3 over 2, right? So we need to do something. So we can write plus a or whatever. So what do we do with 9 over 4 so that we actually get 3 over 2? Because 3 over 2 is what we want. So a is just going to be 6 over 4. 3 over 2 is 6 over 4 minus 9 over 4. And a is just negative 3 over 4. So basically, if you have a 9 over 4, then you need to subtract 3 over 4 to get to 3 over 2. And now we can divide by 2 on both sides. So if you do that, we get x plus 3 over 2 squared is equal to, minus 3 over 4 is equal to 0. And x plus 3 over 2 squared, that is just 3 over 4. So I added 3 over 4 on both sides. So x plus 3 over 2 is going to be plus or minus the square root of 3 over 4. And we can write this as square root of 3 divided by square root of 4, but square root of 4 is just 2. And finally, x is negative 3 over 2 plus or minus square root of 3 over 2. And that should be the answer of question E. All right. Another way to express this, because it's the same, is negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 divided by 2. So this is also perfectly valid. And that is it. So we've done most questions on this page. So let's do question 8. And it says just solve. So this is very similar to questions from factorization. So we have 5 divided by x plus 2 plus 3 divided by x minus 4, and that is equal to 2. And then we just want to solve it. Well, let's use the butterfly method to write the common denominator. So you want to multiply these two together. So 5 times x minus 4. You copy the sign in the middle, plus you multiply the other diagonal together. So this sort of looks like a butterfly. That's why we call it the butterfly method. So 3 times x plus 2. And finally, you multiply the two denominators together. So x plus 2 times x minus 4. And that is equal to 2. And now, let's multiply by the denominator on both sides. So when I multiply by x plus 2, x minus 4 on this side, then this is going to cancel out. And then I'd have to do the same on the other side. All right, now we can simplify our numerator. 5x minus 5 4 is a 20, plus 3x plus 3 2 is a 6. And on the other side, I have 2. And if I simplify what I have, so if I multiply x plus 2 with x minus 4, I get x squared minus 4x. So minus 4x plus 2x is minus 2x minus 4 2 is 8. So I have 5x minus, so if I simplify, 5x plus 3x is 8x, minus 20 plus 6 is minus 14, is equal to 2x squared minus 4x minus 16. Now I can simplify this further. I can write this as 2x squared minus, so 4x, if I take 8x to the other side, I have to subtract 8x. So minus 12x, and you will find out that it's going to be minus 30. Sorry, not minus 30, it's going to be minus 2. I believe this should be the quadratic equation. And if I divide by 2, I get x squared minus 6x minus 1 is equal to 0. And now I can complete the square. So I can write this as x minus 3 squared, right? X squared, I copy the sign from my x term, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So x minus 3 squared, and then I have plus 9. So I need to subtract 10, right? Plus 9 minus 10 gives me negative 1. So that is going to give me 0. So x minus 3 squared is 10 x minus 3 is plus or minus the square root of 10, because positive 10, if I square the square, so if I take square root of 10, positive square root of 10, and I square it, I still get 10. If I take negative square root of 10 and I square it, I still get positive 10. So both of these answers are valid. And finally, my answer will be 3 plus or minus the square root of 10. So that is the answer to question 8. All right. Question 9. The diagram shows a right-angled triangle, and then we are given 3 sides, and we need to find the value of x. Well, for right-angled triangles, your go-to method would be to just use the the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. The sum of the squares of your height, your base and your height will be the sum of the square of the hypotenuse, right? And now you can simplify this we've done binomial expansions before, so you can expand this. So you get 4x squared plus 20x, I believe, plus 25 plus x squared is equal to 100. 10 squared is 100, right? Let me just think if I did it correctly. I should have done it correctly. I think so. So I have 5x squared plus 20x plus 25 is equal to 100. And if I subtract 100 from both sides, I get 5x squared plus 20x minus 75 is equal to 0. And I can divide by 5. Everything here is divisible by 5. So I get x squared plus 4x minus, if I divide by 5, I think I get 15. And now this is something I can solve. So x plus 2 squared, right? So I think you are used to doing this. You take the x, there is no coefficient to the x squared term, so x plus 2 squared, right? And then 2 squared gives me 4, but I need to have negative 15. So I need to subtract negative 19 equal to 0. So therefore, x plus 2 squared is just going to be 19. If I add 19 on both sides, x plus 2 is plus or minus the square root of 19. And finally, x is going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 19. But remember, x is a length. So we can't have a negative length. So your solution for x is actually negative 2 plus square root of 19. So you need to reject the negative sign. So that should be your answer. Or you can write this as square root of 19 minus 2. So that is the value of x. All right. So you need to reject the answer because length can only be positive. Question 10 is very similar to the question we've looked at before. And it says, find the real solutions of this expression raised to the power 4. So 3x squared plus 5x minus 7 to the power 4 is equal to 1. All right. So now remember, 1 raised to any number is equal to 1, and negative 1 raised to even number is also equal to 1. So now we can solve this because 4 is even, so we can solve this for 1 and negative 1. So 3x squared plus 5x minus 7 is equal to plus 1. 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. If I subtract 1 on both sides, I get 0. And now let's use completing the square. So I have to factor a 3 out, remember? X squared plus 5 over 3x minus 8 over 3 equals to 0. I can divide by 3 on both sides. So x squared plus 5 over 3x minus 8 over 3. So if I divide by 3, the 3 in the numerator and the denominator will cancel out. 0. So x, I copy the sign. 5 by 3, if you divide by 2, you're going to have 5 by 6 squared. And now, when I square 5 by 6, that is 25 over 36, right? 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36. And I need to do something to this expression so that I get minus, if I add a, whatever a is, I should get minus 8 over 3. Now, I need a common denominator. I need to multiply 3 by 12 to get to 36, right? So 12 times 8 is 96. And 3 times 12 is 36. So a is actually negative 96 over 36 minus 25 over 36. And that gives me the value of a to be negative 96 minus 25 is negative 121 over 36. So I need to subtract. So I need to add a and plus a, and a is just negative 1 to 1 by 36. So effectively, I just get minus 1 to 1 over 36 equals to 0. All right. So x plus 5 over 6 is 1 to 1 by 36. X plus 5 over 6. Now 1 to 1 is just 11 squared. 36 is 6 squared. So x plus 5 over 6 is plus or minus 11 by 6, right? When I take the square root of both sides. And a negative value is also acceptable. Remember, negative 11 over 6 squared is the exact same thing as positive 11 over 6 squared. So x, we get, we have two values. So we can have 11 over 6 minus 5 over 6. And I believe that gives me 6 over 6, which is 1. Or x could be negative 11 over 6. So we could have this expression as well. So that is negative 8 over 3. So that is one possible answer. Negative 8 over 3 and 1. But remember, we can solve it for negative 1 as well. So in this case, we just solved it for positive 1. So 3x squared plus 5x minus 7 is equal to negative 1. 3x squared plus 5x minus 6, if I add 1 to both sides, gives me 0. And let's actually use the quadratic formula. And that sets us up in a very good way to prepare for the next video. The quadratic formula we have discussed previously tells me I take the negative of the coefficient of my x term, so minus b, plus or minus the square root of b squared. 25 squared is 25, minus 4 times a is 3 times negative 6. All over 2 times 3 is 6. All right. So minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 4. So you just want to do it in the brackets. 4 times 3 times negative 6. And when you do that, you get square root of 97 divided by 6. So therefore, x is equal to, you can write it like this. Minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 97. And that is it. It would be very hectic to simplify this. So you can just leave your answer like this. So one alternate way to represent, if you want to write it as two separate answers, you could write it as, so therefore x is equal to 1 over 6 square root of 97 plus, square root of 97 minus 5. X is equal to 1 over 6 negative square root of 97 minus 5. So that is one way to write it, but pretty much it. So those are your four answers. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4. Or you can express your two answers together, like in this part. But that is how you solve question 10. And let's go to question 11. So the path of a projectile